What up, Dokkaners? So a lot of units have released so far during the 10th anniversary, and it's only been like 4 days. So today's video is basically going to be a quick little summary of all of the showcase videos that I've done so far. In case you haven't watched any of them or simply don't feel like, this is going to basically cover you on how to build all of these units. This is going to be my opinion on how I think you should be building the hit potential for these characters. Now, I emphasize that because there are going to be a few cases, maybe more, where you guys might disagree, and that is completely fine. The beauty of this game and the beauty of some of these characters' designs is that there are multiple ways to go about building the character. One unit could be a damage dealing all-star. Maybe you want to make that one component of the character's kit that much more effective, or perhaps you want to make him a more all-around unit. It really just depends on your playstyle, the characters that you have on your team, and your overall philosophy on approaching the game. So if you disagree with some of my builds, that is completely fine. There is no right or wrong answer, depending on who you ask. So that being said, let's jump in and discuss my builds for these characters. Also, check out the showcases if you haven't done so. I have done max links videos for all of the main 3 LRs. I've also done some for the super EZAs. I have not done one specifically for the Hercule, but maybe we will at some point because he's pretty fun to use. So let's just jump in here. I have a full list of the characters. We'll start with the Vegeta, Royal Blue Vegeta. This one's probably going to be one of the more, I guess, highly debated characters. I'm not going to read everything that he does. Basically, he has the potential to do a bunch of damage in one turn, but it's very RNG based. So my philosophy on this character is that on a Universe 7 team, which is his #1 team, he does not need to shoulder the burden of doing all of the damage in the world. So even if he were to launch 5 attacks and one of them ended up being a super attack, granting him a total of 2 super attacks launched amongst 7 attacks, he will have built up some decent damage reduction and he will have done some damage overall. Some people would argue that during those first few turns where you're unable to launch maybe that many supers, you still want to capitalize on all of the slaps that you're dishing out by giving them crit. Before you hit that 7 super attack point, which does take some time admittedly, if you give maximum crit, you could get more damage out there. I don't personally feel that that's necessary. On the Universe 7 category as a whole, there are characters that have multiple turn crit boosting abilities. AGLUI Goku, Int Royal Blue Vegeta, I think Int Android 17, just to name a few, they can do that. So with those little bumps in critical, on top of your built-in 5 critical, which gives you a 10% chance on every single damage that you dish out, I think that he's fine. All you should really be focusing on, in my opinion, is being able to launch more attacks to give yourself enough coverage every single turn, because after 6 turns, this 30% goes away, and your core damage reduction is going to be coming from this. You could launch 5 attacks per turn, give yourself 35% damage reduction. Once you've launched 6 super attacks or more, you would get the additional 30%. So focusing on longevity, in my opinion, is the better way to go, which is why I am recommending that you give him additional and dodge. Any combination of the two will work. Dodge is always good to have in the event of an AoE or a situation where you need to put him in slot 1 because somebody else doesn't have their ability right away, or whatever the case may be. This, I think, is a better way to make use of the character. He does not have to do all the damage. If you've seen Universe 7, you know there is so much offense on virtually every other LR on the team. He doesn't have to do all the work. So the reason why I have this written out here is some people will vehemently say that on shorter events, if you focus on max critical, you can deal a good amount of damage. Maybe you can. I just don't think that that's necessary. So if you want to go this direction, you can max critical, rest additional. This is very much a slot 2 unit. The dodge is a just in case. It's the same reason why you guys believe in the 3 dodge. The 3 dodge is a miracle, right? You're praying for a miracle. Giving him a little bit more than 3, I think, is a decent amount because that makes your dodge chance a little bit more consistent. Additional and dodge. I personally have 10 additional and 20 dodge for right now. By the time you're watching this, I may have changed it using the new unique equips that I got for this character. Moving on to the Tech Vegito. Now, for the Tech Vegito, it's first Goku and Vegeta, obviously. These two guys are permanent stackers. This guy stacks attack, and Vegeta stacks defense. Let me actually pull up their kits separately. This guy is a slot 2 unit who stacks attack. This guy is a slot 1 unit who stacks defense. You can always switch between the two and stack one or the other. Eventually, you can either fuse into Vegito, or this guy gives you a guaranteed guard, permaguard, for the rest of the battle. I like fighting in either style. I think going with the stacking approach is a little bit more conservative, a little bit safer, more long-term. It's very effective, and it has proven to work over my several videos that I've used the character on. Whereas the flashier and more satisfying version, which is the fusion, is also equally fun. Actually, way more fun. Who are we kidding? It's way more fun. I have not reached the point where the fusion has run out. But that is, of course, I am recording this early on in the 10th anniversary. Maybe there's more events where things take longer. I am mainly focusing on capitalizing on the stacking leading up to the fusion, and then giving myself the best possible chance to make the most out of the kit. I don't personally think giving a whole lot of critical is necessary. I think giving dodge and additional is the best way to have your preliminary stacking characters build up their stats to the point that they are reliable on their own, with or without the fusion. The fusion gives you crit with every attack performed, but over the course of 4 turns, that might not always happen. But in my experience, it has, because every attack performed, let's not also forget, you're going to be countering a bunch of attacks, and that will also dish out damage and pile things on for you. So I think going for additional and dodge is the way to go. So this is why I have chosen to do max additional and the rest dodge. You can throw on crit to give your initial stackers some extra damage, but I think with their base 5 critical, just by being a tech character, that's enough. You have a 10% chance. Again, it's better than, you know, some people doing their typical 3 dodge. Why do you put your 3 dodge in there? Oh, you know, just in case. Okay, same philosophy. I've got 5 critical in my character. Why is it in there? Oh, you know, just in case. So it's fine. He doesn't have attacks effective against all types, but the Goku does. Goku has the pseudo crit already built in. I just don't think you need more. Again, that's my opinion. Feel free to disagree. That is totally fine, but this is my build. Moving on to the Super Saiyan 4, I can already just tell you, he's got crit all over his passive in every form. You don't need it. Base form, he's got a 70% chance to crit, I think. Actually, let me just pull it up because I don't remember. I think it's a 70% chance, or it's just a straight up guarantee. Let's just go through this. He has 70% chance to dodge. When it's 24 key, guaranteed crit, otherwise 50% chance. So that's covered. When he goes Giant Great Ape, he's got guaranteed crit. He's covered. When he goes Super Saiyan 4, wait, you can't access that from here? Okay, that's weird. Can I access it from here? There we go. All right, here you have crit for 4 turns. After those 4 turns, every attack you perform or receive gives you 20% crit. There's no limit. So by the time you exit out of the first 4 turns, you'll get the guaranteed crit. Easiest decision ever. Focus on additional, stack that attack and defense as much as possible. He has a slot 2 unit. You could do maximum dodge. Because this is an AGL unit, maximum dodge gives you at most 15 dodge. You would still have 11 additional, which is 22%. Still not bad. And then on top of that, you would throw on, you know, your unique equips and whatnot. You would be fine. I think max additional is the way to go, just to give yourself more possible attacks. And most importantly, the best chance to launch a possibly second attack during the Great Ape phase. The Great Ape phase is actually a very useful phase, guaranteed crit and does a lot of damage. If you can get an additional off on that 1 turn, that's a lot of damage you're going to be giving yourself extra. So I would say focus on additional for the most part. Then we've got Hercule. Hercule is all about dodging and stalling and stunning. So even though he's got a built-in 85% chance, you want him to dodge as much as possible. Before receiving an attack within a turn, he has a 90% damage reduction. What this means is for 1 instance only, he has a 90% damage reduction. So if you reinforce the dodge as much as possible, you can avoid having to even give up that last resort. If you have to throw this guy in front of 10 attacks, he dodges 8 of them. On the 9th attack, he gets hit. On the 10th attack, it's the super attack. You've now lost your damage reduction. You are relying solely on your dodge to get out of it. He is a stall character with some decent defense. I would say give him more dodge, give him more consistent of a chance. Of course, the more passive ability you have, the less the hit potential matters. So for dodge being 85%, the chance of your backup proccing would be 15% because your 85% first has to fail, then the backup calculation would kick in. So for me, I have an 85% chance on the passive with a 25% hit potential on the back end. So if I multiply 0.15 times 0.25, that would give me, hold on a second, my calculator just froze. That would give me an additional 3.8% chance. So I would actually have an 88.5% chance to dodge something. 3%, not a lot, but you know what? Over the span of 10 attacks, I'll take those extra 3%. I'll take it. It's useful. So easy choice, maximum dodge, the rest additional. He gets crit in his active skill, so who cares? He's not supposed to be a damage dealer anyway. So that covers all of the major anniversary characters. After that, oh, we actually have the collectible. So the collectible free-to-play Goku, I don't think anyone really cares. I'm doing max dodge, the rest additional. You know, I still feel like he might get a Dokkan Awakening. He just seems suspiciously low in terms of leader skill and overall abilities. He gives himself a multiplicative 10-turn buff with the attack and defense raising. I would want to just capitalize on that. Since he's an AGL type, he's already naturally got a level 5 additional. So if I give him full dodge, that's 15 dodge plus 11 additional, that's 22% chance. I like that. And then if I use skill orbs, I could give him more. Critical, I think, could just be taken care of using skill orbs. I also don't need him to do a lot of damage. He, at this current juncture, I want him to just stay alive. I want him to support everybody and give damage reduction to, well, he doesn't give anyone damage reduction, but give himself damage reduction. Free-to-play characters in general, I give a lot of dodge to. And then we go to the Super EZAs. So far, these are the only 2 Super EZAs that have released during the 10th anniversary. By the time you're watching this, there could be more, so look out for other videos that cover those. But for now, quickly going over the Vegito and the Buuhan. First of all, check out the videos because they were awesome, especially this one. Vegito is a dodge and critical character. Now, this one I think people will disagree with me on, and that's completely fine. The reason why I think dodge is important to give is, don't forget, when an attack is headed your way, even if you dodge it, you still received the attack. So you will still counter whatever that attack is. 40% damage reduction is good to start, but that's not enough anymore to handle major fatal super attacks. You need to typically combine a damage reduction with either another damage reduction or guard. Guard is only happening under 50% health. So with only 40% damage reduction, if you were to face a super attack, you would want to get out of it. And even in general, even if you're just able to counter slaps left and right, you might just not want to get hit because you have very little health. So I think going max dodge will give you the best amount of longevity with this character. And then after that, it could be either critical or additional. If you go additional, then you could maybe launch multiple attacks. If you go critical, the critical counters might be more consistent. That's your playstyle at that point. For me, I went critical because during my showcase, I loved the consistency in which I was launching critical counters. I was getting a lot of extra damage, and I wanted more of that. So dodge and critical is my choice. If you want to throw an additional, you can. He does have a built-in 5 additional, which means 10% chance for an additional. That's enough for me. Let me know what you guys think. And then lastly, Buuhan. Buuhan he's a character where I think they just said, you know what? It's the weekend. Let me finish up with this character. I don't even care about balancing him. I'm just going to finish it and go home. Somebody just did that because this guy is broken. He's just a monster. He is unstoppable. Every single time I had a chance, I was always getting crits on my massive attacks with the rainbow orb changing and then picking up rainbow key spheres. The consistency that I was getting 66% or 99%, 2 or 3 rainbow key spheres per turn was insane. So I don't need critical on this guy. I have gone full additional. After that, whatever you want. You want to do critical just to make it more consistent? Go ahead. You want to go dodge for the occasional, freak moment where you just need it? Go for it. Probably dodge would be better. I'm going max additional and I'm doing the rest dodge. If you want to throw on crit, you can, but honestly, you don't need it. This covers you so well. You just don't need it. Trust me. Go watch that showcase. It's one of my shorter showcases over the last couple of days because he's so good. I got all I needed in like the first 5 minutes. He's just incredible. So there you go. That is my full breakdown for all of the hidden potentials builds for these characters so far. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree or disagree. I feel like my builds are pretty reasonable, but of course, it is up to debate. If you guys don't agree with my takes, that is completely fine. Build them the way that you want. Have fun. Most importantly, experience it for yourself. If you feel like, you know what, let me give Toon's build a try, and then you find yourself not vibing with it, change it. That's the beauty of the EX skill orbs, exchangeable, inter-exchangeable orbs. That is the way to make the most out of them. Switch out all of your dodges for criticals. Switch out all of your criticals for stat boosters, whatever you want to do to try different combinations of characters or hidden potential builds. That's the best way to do it. And that's what I do on a regular basis before I finalize my decision. And then I put them in my Discord in under Toon's hidden potential builds. So do check that out as well if you guys are curious. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree or disagree with any specific character. Let me know what you guys think. Be respectful. I know that people are very passionate about this sort of thing, but we don't need to get salty over it. It's my opinion versus yours. I'm not any more right than you are. We are entitled to our own opinions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Also, I am on a 10 video recording streak, so I'm very sleepy. If I said anything just nonsense in this video, do let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more content in the future and click the notification bell so that you literally know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and ours to Dokkan responsibly.